Okay, so you need to start with 2 anchors. So starting around from the inside of the foot, you want to be behind the knuckle for the big toe, underneath the bump of the ankle but not hanging down to the arch, and then below the Achilles. So you come around the heel, no tension, come around to the outside of the foot, just lay it on, try not to get any wrinkles on it, okay, and then just a nice loose loop around the forefoot. Just lay it on so it just loosely comes around and then comes back and attaches on itself. It's not circular, so it's not going to meet at the same point, but as long as it comes back and attaches to the tape. And then your top anchor only goes about 3/4 of the way around the leg, because when you exercise the leg's going to swell, so you need to leave space for it to open up. So if you just add a really loose one across the front, it locks it together, it gives it space to move. Now again, it's not circular, so just make sure it comes across and meets and see how it's nice and loose. So those are your anchors. The anchor for the calf, the higher you bring it up, the more aggressive and supportive it's going to be. And for an Achilles, you need to come at least to the calf junction, and if you want to actually shift the load into the calf, you need to come another inch higher. And the calf junction is basically where the tendon stops and the calf stops, and there's a convergence together. So at the bottom of the big gastroc is where your calf junction is. Okay. From there, just come straight underneath the foot from that front anchor. Put your ankle at 90 degrees or slightly more. Okay, don't go less, because then you won't be able to get your heel on the ground. So at 90 degrees, and then just gently tension. Don't need to apply much tension at all. Straight up through the middle of the Achilles and touch onto that anchor, and then just lay it on. Okay, don't leave any wrinkles. And then you're going to overlap the tape by 50%, and to do that you need to make sure you start on the inside of the foot. So as you come on the outside, it can run straight up, and you're just taking the outside edge of the tape to the middle of the other one, to the first strip you did, and lay that on, no tension. Okay, and then just do the opposite. Okay, again, no tension, well, just a very small no tension. Make sure there's no creases in it. Now that will give you some good support, but if you want to really localise where that support is, let's say that you've got a lesion right here and you want to give that extra support, then all you do is make sure you cross at that point. Now what happens is the tape will be stronger on itself. So to do that, you just do the same as what you did before. Start from the inside to do the outside, but come around the outside of the heel, and then just aim the middle of the tape right at where you want the support to be. Okay, again, make sure there's no wrinkles on it, and then just let that tape roll around, and it's going to end up coming to the inside of the leg. Okay, and then the direct opposite. Okay, now for the sake of this one, we're saying that our lesion is right here because that's where we've crossed. Okay, and just let that wrap around. And then what you've got is a really fixed point of support. Okay. Now I've left a bit of a gap here, but obviously you want to make sure that comes straight up so that tape is overlapping, because it's strongest when it overlaps itself. And then all you do is go through and perform the first anchors again to lock that. Okay. Again, just nice and loose in the front, doesn't need to be tight at all. Just leave a little bit of looseness. Then your foot's going to be under quite a bit of pressure in the exercise, so split that, open it up, and then just lay it back down lightly with no tension, so there's a slight gap, and then just take a half loop and just lay it around the top of the foot so it's really nice and loose. So when your foot's off the ground there's no tension, but when it's on the ground there's slight tension, and just pat that down and that'll hold it all together, but there's room for the foot to expand.